Unfortunately, I have to work on this Yamaha CR-400 receiver again. The other day I wanted to listen to some music. I turned it on, and I basically noticed sound was only coming out of one channel. I wanted to listen to FM, and I actually had the headphones on. I didn't have any speakers hooked up, so that means now I'm going to have to look into this again. The first thing I'm going to do, I think I need to make sure that I'm going to check out the function switch here. Make sure that the problem's not only in the when I use the radio, but also like when I use the aux inputs. So I'm going to go ahead and feed in a signal to the aux inputs, a sine wave basically, and then go from there. So the first thing I did, I just hooked up my dummy load here, my 8 ohm dummy load, in place of the speakers. Next I'm going to go ahead and hook up the audio generator. Also, I noticed that when I had turned the volume up and the sound was only coming out of one channel, the channel which wasn't working, I didn't hear any hiss. It was completely dead. So that's kind of like pointing me toward the audio output stage. I'm actually using my little leader audio generator because I have an HP 3325 too, but this is so much easier to work with. And here I've got here are the leads from the audio generator, and I'm feeding a sine wave, 1000 hertz sine wave, into the aux jacks. I got these little adapters, which are quite handy. Next, I've got my oscilloscope probes. They're hooked up across the dummy load, so I can see the waveform for both channels. I always like using the oscilloscope, basically because it can do almost about everything the multimeter does, and you've got a visual representation of what you're doing. So I just turned on the audio generator and I turned on the receiver. I had the audio generator turned all the way down and I had the receiver turned all the way up, and then I slowly brought up the signal level. And here you can see that one channel's got like zilch. It's got like zero output. Again, I'm reading off of the dummy load at the back of the receiver, basically like reading across the speakers. So I'm off to my next step. I'm going to go ahead and see if I have a signal coming into the main amplifier board from the receiver preamp. I think that would be easiest for me to do. I switched my oscilloscopes now, and I've basically got them hooked up to right where the output from the preamp feeds into the power amp, right there. One's a left channel and one's a right channel. And if I look at here's the signal. I'm going to go ahead and turn the volume down somewhat. You can see I've got output there. So that's basically proven to me that the signal should be okay up to the input of the power output board, which is what I suspected anyways. So now I'm going to go ahead and do some voltage measurements. I'm going to go ahead and measure some voltages off of the 4 power output transistors. You can see right down here are the power output transistors. There's actually 4 of them, 2 for each channel. I've got the schematic, and the schematic says I should be reading right around 27 volts positive, and then 27 volts minus for each channel. And I'm going to go ahead and take the measurements right off of the collector. So I should be reading on 100 transistors. What I'm trying to say is 100 transistors I should be reading about I think it was it around 27 volts on the collector, plus 27 volts, and on the other transistor for that one channel supposed to be reading then minus 27 volts. And the same thing with the other channel. Again, it's going to be plus 27 and then minus 27. This is off the collectors. I'm going to go ahead and turn down the volume of the receiver, and now I'm going to go ahead and take some measurements. That's almost like minus slipped. My ground slip minus 26. Oh, excuse me, that's plus 24 volts. It's kind of ballpark. This is minus 24. That's kind of ballpark, but that's okay. And then here is zilch. Just kind of odd. And the last transistor is nothing. Okay, minus 24, so that's basically okay too. So I'm having a problem with the one transistor there. I know there's some fuses. There's some fuses running to the main amp, one for one channel, one for the other channel. But I looked at the fuses earlier, and basically the fuses are also new. And they seem to be totally intact. I think I'm going to go ahead and right now I'm going to go ahead and check this transistor out, and then go from there. But I'm going to make a couple of more measurements off of some different transistors, which I'm doing now. Okay, I'm going to use the right channel as a comparison. You can't see that now on camera. Okay, the left channel is out too, so it's almost like there's no voltage coming from the power supply. Now the good thing with receivers is you have one bad channel, you can always use the other bad channel as a comparison. So now I'm going to go ahead and check out that transistor. Of course I got the receiver off. And I'm going to start with the good channel here. I determined the problem was in the... So I've got my leads here. Got one of them on the collector, the other one on the base or emitter. Let me see what we got here. Okay, not on there correctly. It's kind of hard to film this because everything is so tight. Can't do both. See what I got. Okay, my first measurement now. A short? No, it wasn't on there right. Okay, that seems to be okay. I'm going to reverse the leads. And I'm going to use that transistor that has no collector voltage. I'm going to go on there. See what I get. Reverse the leads. Well, basically the same thing. Now check one of the other leads of the good transistor. Again, turn the leads around. Okay, Now that transistor which wasn't getting anything. Oh, okay. Oh, it reads about the same. And my last check here is going to be with the good transistor here on the right channel. I'm going to measure between the base and the collector. 222, but then again, that might be reverse the leads. Okay, about the same. Now I'm going to go to that transistor that didn't have any collector voltage. 220. So about the okay, the same. So theoretically, that transistor's okay. I wonder if I have a. Hopefully, I don't have a break in the circuit board like I had with the. I had a tuner problem with this receiver too. It had a break. Okay, let me start over there by the fuses again. As I said, those are new fuses in there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and measure across the fuse. I'm using the ohmmeter function. I'm going to measure across the good channel first here. Okay, that's as it should be. Okay, this is the bad channel. That's as it should be too. Huh. That's kind of odd. Let me go ahead and turn the receiver on and try to measure some voltage, or I'll see what happens. Okay, I've actually got the receiver on now, and I'm going to go ahead and measure the DC voltages. Okay, got 24. This is the bad channel. That's completely normal. As a comparison, the good channel on the other side here, 23. Okay. Okay, looks like the voltage come back up. Oh no, once I press against the fuse holder here, I notice the voltage then disappears and then comes back. What about the other side? Nope, on this side here, let me poke around here. Okay, it's either, it looks like there's something wrong right here. Okay, you can see the voltage is really down. Okay, that ain't right. Either there's something wrong with this solder joint here. Probably. What happens if I flex the circuit board a little bit? not too much. I think either it's a solder joint or I'm going to go ahead and put in another fuse, because I did have it before that the fuse was not okay. Let me see. Okay, I think it might be a bad solder joint. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't resolder that. Okay, I resoldered the fuse solder joints, and that really didn't make too much of a difference now, but then I was finally able to figure it out. Now, if you watch me pushing on, this is a good channel. If you watch me pushing on the fuse, it really doesn't want to go nowhere with a lot of force. Now, this one here, it moves real easily back and forth, and therefore it's not making such a good contact. So it actually wasn't the solder joint, it was this. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze these fuse holder arms. I'm going to squeeze them together, and then I suspect everything should be back okay, because this is like really sliding back and forth in there. I used a pair of tweezers and pushed the fuse holder arms together, and now when I push on it, nothing happens. It's in there nice and firm. So I'm guessing now, once I turn the thing back on, it should be okay. So I just turned the receiver on. I've got the oscilloscope probe still hooked up, and now I've got my other channel back. Also, I tried prodding around on it, and it didn't make a difference. The voltage is, the waveform is still there, so as far as I'm concerned, the problem is solved.